Hi, I'm Lucy Lightfoot. As a golfer and TV presenter, I know what a difference a high-quality playing surface can make to the player's game and enjoyment. I also know it's down to the skills of the turf manager to deliver it. We're here at Bearwood Lakes Golf Course in Berkshire, where we're going to meet Syngenta application specialist Tom Robinson. He's going to give us some practical tips and ideas which will enable sprayer operators to achieve the best possible results and to help make good turf great. Okay, so where do we start?
To calibrate a sprayer, to put the right number of litres per hectare on, you have to know how much spray is coming out of the nozzle and how fast the spray is going. So it's equating those two together. So the first point to start at is calibrating the speed of the sprayer. And to calibrate the speed of a sprayer, there's only one way to do it, which is to measure out 100 metres with a couple of canes, and you drive up that 100 metres, you drive over the canes so that when the cane falls you start the stopwatch, and then when you hit the second cane you stop the stopwatch. And then with metric maths, luckily, if you take the time in seconds, you write that down, and then the calculation is 360 divided by the time that it took in seconds to travel that 100 metres, gives you your forward speed in kilometres an hour. So, for example, if you took 45 seconds to do your 100 metres, 360 divided by 45 is 8. And so you travel that 100 metres at 8 kilometres an hour.
Okay, so when we know how fast we're spraying, how do you then move on to deciding what the required output is at the nozzle?
Right. We know how many litres a hectare we want to apply, and just say, for example, we were going to work at 200 litres a hectare. Then there's another calculation you do where you put in the number of litres per hectare times the spacing of the nozzles on the boom, which in this case will be ½ a metre on most sprayers, times your forward speed in kilometres an hour, divide by 600. So in this example that we're just working out, it will be 200 litres a hectare times a ½ metre nozzle spacing times 8 kilometres an hour, divide by 600, and that will give you your nozzle output in litres per minute.
Okay, and how would that change if you were spraying faster or if you changed the water volume, for example?
Well, if the guy just speeds up and doesn't change the nozzle output, then he'll be underdosing. And if he, for whatever reasons, increases the output from the nozzles without changing forward speed, then he'll be overdosing. So really an operator has to choose a speed that he's going to go at and then calibrate the sprayer for that speed, and he's got to stick to it.
Okay, so how do we then use that knowledge to make sure that we've chosen the right nozzle?
We know how many litres a hectare we want to put on, and we now know how many litres a minute should be coming out of a nozzle to put those on. The actual choice of nozzle that we have looked at a bit in the earlier session on nozzles, and so we need to know what the right size of nozzle is of the ones that we want, and you get that figure from the nozzle manufacturer's data chart. So you know how many litres a minute the thing is going to apply, and then you choose a nozzle that will give the right output in litres a minute, between 2 and 3 bars pressure typically, and then you'll have a good spray.
Okay, thanks Tom.
Pleasure.
So the summary is, calibrate your sprayer regularly. Don't just rely on automatic systems, check the output manually. Select and change for the right nozzles. Use the Greencast application zone for the latest information.